Please,
can say that
please let's not go into what they may or may not do.
Why I'm saying is this, that if I give them unbridled power, then anything can happen.
Raja Saab, it pertains to your attack on a particular piece of legislation.
But I'll say this thing.
No. What Parliament decides to do future, you can bring another petition, we can look at it then. Restrict yourself to your case. Please proceed.
I will say this thing then, Mother, that this clause 2 is beyond the powers of the Parliament.
Hey.
Three, and when I'm arguing, my lord, my associate will explain that 184(3) is not the only thing which is regulated by the Supreme Court rules. If your lordship would have the 1980 Supreme Court rules in front of you, there are the different types of jurisdiction which are available to you.
Shall we finish with the Act quickly?
Oh, okay, I'll finish with the Act, my lord. Exercise of original jurisdiction of the Supreme Court. Any matter invoking exercise of original jurisdiction under Clause 3 of Article 184 of the Constitution shall be first placed before the committee constituted under Section 2 for examination, and if the committee is of the view that a question of public importance with reference to enforcement of any of the fundamental rights conferred by Section 1 of Part 2 of the Constitution is involved, it shall constitute a bench comprising not less than 3 judges of the Supreme Court of Pakistan, which may also include the members of the committee for adjudication of the matter. I will simply say on this thing that this is...
Sir, on your right side, but not as much right as previously.
Yes, my lord.
Over here. Question, so your associates can note this. This power that Section 3 purports to confer on the committee with regard to examine the question and therefore act as a gateway perhaps, is this a power, or is this a judicial power, or is this an administrative/statutory power? Because 183 is ultimately a judicial power, because then it seems to me that the latter part of this section says it shall constitute a bench. That seems to imply that the power exercised by the committee is not a judicial power but an administrative power. So can Parliament whittle down? This is a question, please note.
Yes, it's judicial, and in fact that is exactly, that will be exactly my proposition.
Please hear his lordship.
Sawal to sun le. Can the Parliament whittle down the judicial power under 184(3) by providing that this committee will act as a gateway and block out in exercise of administrative power anything that the committee feels, 3 judges, not the whole of the Supreme Court, but 3 judges, senior most respectable judges, but in the end just 3 judges, block out any case that they, in exercise of administrative power, they will deprive the Supreme Court from exercising judicial power. So you kindly note the question and you address it at an appropriate.
And I will go even further than that,
and also a supplementary question connected to this. Earlier, the Justice solely had this power. So there was a likelihood that the outcome of the cases could also have been influenced by the constitution of the bench. So that eroded the independence of judiciary. If this argument is accepted, then the earlier traditional model would be acceptable to you, that one person can actually control the outcomes of the cases by constitution of benches, and this probably was the mischief that the Parliament wanted to address.
If I may add, there is a judgment of this court and the judicial pronouncement on that as to what procedure would be followed by the Chief Justice to invoke jurisdiction to invoke jurisdiction of this court under Article 183. And it says where a bench, 3-member bench, 2-member bench, but a bench comes to the conclusion that there is a matter of public importance affecting fundamental rights, they may recommend to the Honorable Chief Justice that a bench be constituted. And the Honorable Chief Justice, after seeing the reasons that the bench has assigned for recommending, he may or may not, but at least he would recall reasons why he thinks he disagrees with the recommendations, or thereafter he can proceed. And so there is a judicial pronouncement on that already in place.
In fact,
Raja Sahib, I'm sorry, since
may I say,
Honorable Chief Justice has said that we can only ask questions and not for you to respond immediately. So let me, with all due respect, ask a supplemental to what the supplemental put to you by my learned brother, colleague Justice Atar Minallah. It seems to me that the power to constitute a bench, which is the subject matter of Section 2, constituting a bench does not block the exercise of judicial power. It simply determines which is the bench that is to exercise judicial power.
yeah.
But my question to you is that Section 3 seems to go beyond that. Section 3 is separate from Section 2. It actually blocks, it confers on the 3-member committee exercising administrative powers to actually block the exercise of judicial powers. It's not a question of constitution of benches. They can say, sorry, out, nothing further, matter ends.
सब्सक्राइब करें और बेल दबाएं ताकि कोई खबर रह न जाए।